Hello, and welcome to Local Listens, available weekly on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Anchor, and our YouTube channel. On this episode, we have Brandon Walsh of Punk with a Camera. We talk about how he uses social media like Facebook and TikTok, working with an ADHD brain, and how he got started with Punk with a Camera. Also about his feud with Michael Graves, and so much more. Please remember that these episodes are currently being recorded over Discord, and sometimes the person we are talking to is in a different time zone. The audio quality changes throughout the episode because Brandon wanted to fit us into his busy schedule. Also, bands are mentioned throughout the episode, and you can find links to those bands in the episode description. Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Local Listens. I'm Shane from Sanatorium Hill, and this week we have Brandon Walsh of Punk with the Camera.
Hi.
So, how long have you been doing the whole Punk with a Camera thing? Because I know I found out about you about 5 or 6 years ago.
That's a wow. Okay, so you probably right when we started because I'm 24, so I was probably at the end of my 18th into my 19th year. I want to say because I was just out of high school. Like I was doing video stuff throughout high school, but I didn't give myself a name. And I want to say it was like 2 years before Festival came out because I would always hang out with the Days and Days kids, and they would play 5 times a week in Houston. Probably six plus years. Yeah. Because I was about 18 when I started.
Awesome. And it has totally exploded.
Well, yeah, I'm blown away, but I never thought anyone would care. But I'm glad they do because I'm glad that they care more about the bands that I want to work with rather than me as a person. Because I really only do what I do so that way bands can get more exposure. And I just look at it like I'm a provider of an asset, usually being visual media. And like if I can give that to somebody and the band can grow exponentially, like Apes of the State or Holy Locust or some shit like that, like that's what makes me want to do it, you know.
All right. Because I know I've found out about so many new bands through your YouTube channel, which I am also amazed that your post stayed frequent throughout COVID. Like, how much backlog stuff do you have?
Officially, I have actually gotten all of my old backlog as of now, but I have taken 2 trips to NOLA. We're about to make our third trip out there, and yeah, like we're trying to be as safe as possible. I basically gave up video work from the first 10 months, and right before I got my first shot, I decided I'd go out and do some more filming safely. Yeah, like
So, other than the YouTube page, you have the Facebook page and the Instagram as well, right?
yeah, we're on TikTok now too.
Oh, weird. All right.
Yeah, we haven't made too many videos, and we want to make more, but um, my friend Blaze, who I run everything with lately, we've just been trying to like balance our time. Like me, I'm going to school for accounting, and they help run the distro, so it's a lot to do for one person, and it's been kind of wild. But
Nice.
when we get the apartment, we're gonna make a ton of TikToks.
That's wild. I
Yeah,
didn't even think about TikTok as like a form of promotional media or something like that, but it makes sense because it is kind of the main social media right now.
Oh yeah. If you're not on TikTok, you're wasting your time. The level of how easy it is to reach a person is amazing. Like it's kind of like Instagram in like 2013. We really didn't need to do much, and now it's like I've got like a 70,000 following Facebook page that I don't even fucking use. Like we got shadow banned a couple times, and we went from a couple million people that we reach like every month to like 40,000, and then we never really got big into Twitter. So we've kind of looked at it like, okay, well, TikTok is our next step. I don't know. You do any art brand, whatever, you have to think of it like a business, and I look at the majority of social media platforms that are not TikTok as kind of obsolete because if you don't already have that cult following or that big following, you're not going to have substantial growth as a smaller creator because like we have a good following in our genre, but as far as like being an actual creative content maker, it isn't that much. It's mid level at best, and if you want to grow, you gotta take the right steps to make that growth happen.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I am also going to look into making a TikTok.
We made one. And it's really Blaze who knows how to make them good because I get so I'm just too busy, you know. I can't think of the right ways to hit it. I know how I want it to look at my brain, but like Blaze made like 2 videos, and I think we got like 3,000 followers out of those 2 videos. It was wild.
Wow, that's insane. I am totally going to have to hop on that before it's too late.
The coolest thing about TikTok is it's really just a big copy paste game. So if you can kind of figure out what the trend is and you can apply that trend to your own creativity, you know, I could apply like right now, Bella Porch's Build a Bitch is like the song because of the way that they're putting it out. They'll have like the dances or something like that. If you hop onto that hype train and add your own uniqueness to it, it'll blow up. It's ridiculous. Like we've kind of been leaning in towards small business TikTok because we run the distro, and yeah, it's like we did a video that generated like thousands of dollars of sales from a single video that was like 35 seconds long because of the amount of traction and the fact that we had a direct link in our bio and people were like, I want that thing that was in your video. Ridiculous. I was like, whoa, fuck, we gotta get into this. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So, with all the social media stuff that you do, and you mentioned Blaze helping you with some things, is that the only person that helps you, or do you have other people that help you with the distro and other marketing things and stuff like that?
So Blaze helps me run the distro and we make TikToks together. I pretty much do everything else. I have For the sessions, I hire my buddy Jesse from Low Shelf Recording. He records like the Bridge City Sinners albums. I'll send him the stuff because I haven't had the time to truly learn how to do audio mastering, and he's really talented. And we have a pretty good deal together where we have a pretty like a bulk price for each session I do because I don't charge the sessions to be made, but I do collect ad revenue. So if you have like 300 videos and they all get like 100 views a week, that adds up. But if I was to, it was like I remember this being an allegory that I needed to explain to people before. Like you can collect money on YouTube, but it's not like a ton of money. So like we might get a couple $100 a month, but like if you were to split that between all the videos that we'd have, like each band would only generate like 10 cents.
That makes sense.
I don't even remember where I was going with this. Just that Jesse helps me do the videos, and I do the videos for free, and he just masters them, and I pay him to do that. I need to like learn how to do the Naruto Shadow Clone Jutsu shit, and just like become like 10 of me, so I can accomplish all the things I say I will.
Well, if it's something you need to take a break or something with, mental health is always important. But of course, you already know that with everything that you're working on.
Yeah, it's less of a break, and it's more of just like realizing that I have an ADHD brain, and that I will pick up a lot of tasks, but then not complete them, and I'll be like, start now, start now, start now, start now. And I'll have a lot of things going at once, but not too many things that I'm anywhere near ready to finish, but I'll pick up the next thing. And that's just something that I've realized through my exploration of like the way my brain works. And it's honestly been really redeeming because I just always thought that I just couldn't finish it. But I was so productive all the fucking time, but I just wasn't able to do these things. And then later I got the validation, especially through TikTok, because there's a ton of like medical professionals that will literally talk about a lot of the things you're dealing with. And when you have that additional site that isn't like WebMD telling you have cancer, you're like, oh, this is validating. This makes sense. I understand that I can relate to this, and I do this in real life. And you can kind of like attach those things to it, and it feels nice, especially when it comes from a medical professional. Because let's face it, we live in a day and age where it's going to be a lot smarter to get to marry somebody in Europe to get a green card for mental health fucking help, because we ain't going to get it in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. So how does a band go about contacting you for a DIY session or music promotion or merch or something like that?
Literally just DM us on Instagram. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, we say yes to everybody, but like, I'm gonna be more respectful for people who actually like reach out and be like, hey, what do you think of this? And I will always be honest, and I'm always gonna pick the ones that I want. And that that always becomes its own little gray area because then you don't want to like hurt somebody's feelings if you reject them. But at the same time, it's like a good thing because it's like you can give them the positive criticism to be like, hey, right now I don't want to work with you, but you should keep working on this, and I could see us doing stuff in the future. And yeah, just basically like reach out because it's really just my taste and what I want to do because I don't charge money for this. So it's completely a free thing that is up to what I feel like doing. You know,
Cool.
does that make any sense?
Yeah. And you've made some great friends along the way, like, let's say, everybody from the Bridge City Centers.
I actually never did a session with them. I made a music video for them though, but they're really I like them a lot.
All right. Well, one person you did mention as we were messaging back and forth to set this up is about how you're hanging out with Amigo the Devil and like going to get dinner or something like that.
Of all the amazing people I've met in the music industry, Danny is hands down Danny and the Homeless Gospel Choir are two of the people in the music genre community, etc. That I've been like, this is a genuine human being, and they're not just talking to me to get something out of me. And he just hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I'm driving back from NOLA. Do you want to get food together?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" He's like, "Do you like meat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can eat meat. I don't have any dietary restrictions that hinder me." And he's like, "Cool, let's get Benihanas tomorrow." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." He's ridiculously awesome, which is it's kind of goofy because he's got songs about like killing his wife and shit like that. And then you meet this guy, and you'd be like, "How are you writing this? Like, what the fuck?"
I got to meet him a couple years ago when he played a show in northern Seattle. And it was Amigo the Devil and Harley Poe. And after his set, I just kind of walked up to him trying to start a conversation. And he gave me a hug and he's super nice guy, but he's super tall, so he's super intimidating and he writes horror music, but he's the sweetest guy you'll ever meet.
Yeah, no, he gives you a hug and he welcomes you in. Like I said, I've met, especially being a producer of content in the music side of things, like in the first 5 minutes of me talking to somebody, not even first 5 minutes, like the first minute that I talk to somebody, I can tell like, okay, why are they talking to me? Like, do they have an ulterior motive, etc. It's a little bit jaded in senses, but it's something that I had to teach myself because there's a lot of people that just want to get free shit out of you. And when I say that, hands down, Danny from Amigo the Devil is like one of the kindest fucking souls that I've ever met. Get a place in my heart, like fucking full respect.
Well, you've done music yourself as Sad 2, right?
Oh, it's terrible. Please don't.
We don't
The
have.
only thing worse than Sad 2 is my first band, and we don't talk about that.
See, that was my next question, asking what other projects you have been in.
I did a high school band. I played bass, and the music was really fun. We never played any shows, and we ended up divulging just because I don't know. None of us were really ready for it, and I'm a big like let's do this, and it was really fun. I'm still friends with most of the band members.
So, what got you into the whole folk punk music scene then? Because you mentioned knowing the guys from Days and Days and stuff like that, but
It was Days and Days.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, I was in high school. The kid that I was in that band with gave me one of the CDs. For some reason, I thought it was mariachi music, but I really liked it, and I was like, let's go check this out. And they played 5 times a week, and I just, every time after school when they were playing, I'd go play with them. Became really good friends. I've known all the members for close to a decade now. When I met Whitney, I was 16, and now I'm 24. 8 years? Yeah.
Talk about another group of just amazing people. Like, every time I see Jesse at a show, he's always so welcoming and just all around a pretty awesome dude. And I believe he was the second or third episode of this podcast. I just kind of reached out to him and I was like, dude, it's been a while. You want to come on and bullshit and swap stories? And he was completely down. And it was a great time.
That's what I love about him. He's like, I'll do it. Doesn't matter. I'll do it. I was doing a short film when I was like 19 years old. I was like before I was really doing anything. And he showed up and we blew him up full of fake blood. And we never actually released the short, but it was a ton of fun.
Oh, that would have been cool to see.
Yeah. I probably still got it backed up somewhere, but it was just... I've always had a problem with team collaborations where, like I said, I'm a big, like, let's do it. And I remember that project, the director also really wanted to be a main character, and I was just the DP. And like halfway through filming, he had this giant fucking afro. Not exactly afro, like he had very curly hair that kind of resembled an afro. And in halfway through filming it, he just shaved it all off. And I'm like, "You're what?" So that led to a big argument, and I was just like, "Dude, man, we've wasted like 2 weeks on this."
So, what was it that got you into filming in the first place? Was it like prior history doing it, or was it like you found an old camera and you were like, "Oh, cool, I got this. Let's make some shit happen."
Yeah, I think my dad ran over a camera and gave it to me. The screen was busted, but it still took videos and started from there. Went downhill.
All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, one thing I wanted to make sure to ask you, there's an account that popped up a while ago that I wanted to see if you had anything to do with. There was a Facebook page called Punk with a Controller. I think it's on Twitch as well. Do you have anything to actually do with that?
Yeah. So you know how Jesse and them are doing a bunch of like Discord servers and stuff like that. Originally, I was like, "Hey, we should get together and play Dark Souls," because he was really into Dark Souls. So we did a little segment where we did like 5 or 6 streams called Crust Souls, and it was really fun while we did it. And then I became a little too busy. And my buddy Paul was like, "Hey, I want to get into streaming," and I was like, "Well, I got too many projects going on. I already have this like affiliated Twitch channel because between Days and Days and Punk with the Camera, we had some pretty good, followings, reactions to Crust Souls, and Punk with it was actually pretty funny because Corey from Escape from the Zoo, he was coming up to me like the day that we were going to do the first episode of Crust Souls, and he was waiting for me to come in, and he had a big question to ask me, and he went up to me and said, "Brendan, I've been wanting to do a video game channel like this for a while, and I just wanted to see how you felt about if I took the name Punk with a Controller." And I was like, I literally just made the Twitch account. So I felt so bad too because I had no idea that that's what he wanted to do. And he was like, "Fine, I'll find something else." And I was like, "Damn, that's a fucking wild coincidence." But I ended up giving the channel to Paul, and he streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I think. I keep telling him like, "Oh, I'll come in and I'll join you," but between putting myself through school and running the distro, like I said, I need to learn the Naruto Ninja Jutsu to become 10 people.
And you mentioned to me previously that you had a bunch of finals and stuff coming up. Are those over now?
Yeah, I have a 2 week break right now.
All right, sweet. Hopefully finals went well.
I made an A, a B, and a D. Unfortunately, the last one I fucked up pretty bad, but it works out because I got the Pell Grant, and originally I was going to try to graduate by Christmas, but if I was to graduate by Christmas, I would only be able to take half of the Pell Grant that I got approved for. So now I'm going to graduate this time next year, and I can take the money from the Pell Grant, and that's money that you don't have to return, so I'll be getting a couple extra outside of my tuition and just be able to do something like press another record for a band I like. I don't know. I went through all of my college, and the last 2 semesters I finally get approved for student aid. It's stupid.
Oh, wow. Damn. At least you did get approved, but holy timing.
Yeah, I probably would have gotten approved earlier, but I just, I didn't take any loans, and I didn't do anything else, and I didn't really ask for help, so it was just mainly just me not understanding how to do it, and I finally asked help from somebody, and they signed me up in time, because I'd always miss the deadlines.
Awesome. That's super cool that you were able to get that handled and dealt with, though. My next question is, with COVID being how it is, keeping everybody from going on tour and things like that, I know you went on a couple tours as Punk with a Camera. Do you have any crazy tour stories that kind of pop into your mind?
Like tour is a fucking beast. You have a mixture of like traveling with people you don't know too well, failures in communications which cause unnecessary arguments. But I don't know, dude. We've had people like get arrested on our tours, not in our party, but just like crazy shit that they were doing. What do you want to know?
Well, all right. How about what were some of your favorite cities to go to?
See, this is where memory loss from trauma hurts because I can't remember too well. I would say anywhere in Washington, anywhere up and down the coast of California, anywhere in Arizona, amazing times. Anywhere in Pennsylvania, amazing times. Any other city, I can't remember it too well. It either didn't stick out to me or it was really traumatic and I didn't want to remember it. And Australia was beautiful. I don't know. I don't know what to say there because
it could be as boring as like I just felt really comfortable for the first time ever being an outsider and being a weirdo. Um, that's not crazy. That's just something that's new to me.
Yeah, I get that. Also, I'm kind of excited that you mentioned Washington because,
Oh, Washington's amazing.
oh, yeah. And I love that you mentioned Washington because there's so many people out here that are good friends that are in the folk punk scene and they're so supportive of each other. Also, the first Punk with a Camera tour when you came out here was actually the first time I got to actually meet you in person.
The first time we played, or the second time we played there?
Well, the first time was when I got to meet you in person for the first time. And the second time, I actually had the honor of opening up the show. So I guess both times.
Yeah, because you were with your partner, right?
Yeah,
And y'all got married recently, right?
yeah, August of last year.
Dude, congratulations. That's so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I think that sharing growth with people in general can be an amazing time when you're able to and feel comfortable and satisfied.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. And it's even better now that we're living out in Washington because Shannon's originally from Chicago and I'm originally from like southeast Wisconsin and then moved up to Madison. So moving out here was kind of like a breath of fresh air because even though the Seattle freeze that people talk about with people being distant and everything around here is totally a thing. The people that we have met and the communities that we have grown to be a part of out here are so welcoming, and you meet the right people and they just open up and introduce you to so many other amazing people, and I just love it out here. But the bad thing with that is that the increase of social anxiety, because I have hardcore social anxiety. So meeting people all the time can drive you nuts, but at the same time, they're all wonderful people.
No, yeah, I used to be a big social butterfly, and a lot of my friends were coming up to me recently, and they're like, "Hey, I just realized that you're the person who introduced me to all these people. That's so weird because I don't think I could ever do that again. Like, just be the guys like, hey, this is this and this and this and this and this. And today, now I'm not as inept to that, especially with COVID being so isolated and alone.
Oh, yeah, especially with how COVID's been in the last almost year and a half, because that lack of social interaction and then just jumping right into it kind of terrifies me. And I know there's going to be so many people that I used to be really comfortable to be around that I'm just going to have that social anxiety around again. And I'm just going to end up being that quiet dude sitting in a corner at a show.
I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. Have you been to any shows at all yet?
No, we've been doing our best to stay safe around here. Within the last couple weeks, I have started going back to work because big events are starting up again. So I'm out there like building stages and stuff. And I was back for work for one day, and that night I got a text from our scheduler that said, "Hey, there was somebody on the crew today that tested positive for COVID. We need everybody else to get tested, and hopefully nobody got it, basically." And we were literally back for work for one fucking day, and that shit happened. And I got tested, and I didn't have it, and now I'm fully vaccinated. But like, what the fuck?
And that's what people realize is your friend could pop up to you and say hello, and that distance in that conversation without a mask, boom, you got it. And with the CDC like carrying that mask mandate, but then you look at all of the major popular what are they called, anesthesiologists, like people who study diseases, they're all just like, yo, what the, because it's just we could be like India. I hate to say it like that, but it could be really bad.
Yeah, one of the memes I've been seeing recently, which I don't know if it's true anymore, because the meme was that COVID has had more waves than ska has, and actually, it seems like a fourth wave of ska might be on the rise. What, you got Jeff Rosenstock coming out with the Ska Dream album, and hell, you even got Laura Jane Grace tweeting about how there's going to be a fourth wave of ska and people better be ready for it.
I hope so. But when people say stuff like that, I look exactly to when Trump got elected, and people are like, "Oh wow, we're gonna have so many good punk songs." Nothing came with it because fucking punk sucks. Punk sucks, and a lot of fucking punk rockers think that it's cool to be conservative. It's cool to have right wing views. It's cool to like hate black people and brown people, and it's like disgusting. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, speaking about that, actually, you had a little bit of a feud going on with Michael Graves for a little bit, didn't you?
Oh, fuck Michael Graves. Still waiting. Yeah. Well, he was like, going off about, this is some Proud Boy shit, basically. I can't even remember it, but it was trying to be like, white race is the power race, and we're so strong. Dude sitting at fucking like 5'10", 130 pounds with a fucking lazy eye, and I'm sitting over there like, I will destroy you, son. Do not talk like that. The amount of people that are hurt with that level of dialogue is ridiculous, and you do not need to be added to that. Like, I went on my little rant about it, and people were like starting to go fund me. So one dude was like, "I'm gonna go kick his fucking ass." To this day, I'll still do it, And I think the best part is I think that I don't want to take credit, but me bringing awareness to it got his like Instagram and his Facebook shut down because he was, he's being a fucking white supremacist, and I'm not about it. And that goes out to anybody in any genre, anywhere, that white supremacy is a fucking terrible thing. There's no such thing as white pride. I'm Irish. I'm very proud of my Irish heritage, but I'm never going to be like, I'm proud of my skin that's white. And people don't understand because they're not fucking taught this shit. Black people had their other culture stolen from them, and they just don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That's why there's black pride. Simple as that. But they weren't stolen, they weren't enslaved, they know what their culture is, and you get these stupid fucking kids who appropriate the term redneck and say that well, I got white pride if he's got black pride, not understanding how fucking stupid that is, because you can have you can be proud of your European ancestry as long as you're not a Nazi, and it'd be fine. But it's just this level of stupidity that is just so infuriating. I live in the dirty South, so I see it more than anybody, And just to clarify, redneck, right? Since this has been a talking point lately, rednecks were people from the Battle of Blair Mountain who were fighting for workers' rights and wore red bandanas to identify each other because the people of the fucking mining towns, which were, owned towns by the corporations that mine things, and they weren't even paid in money. They were paid in like company notes for the company store. And they fought that, they fought for the they fought for the standardization of the 8-hour work week and so many other fucking things. And people now appropriate redneck as just being like, oh, I'm a conservative because I'm a redneck. And I'm like, you don't know solidarity. You don't know what it means to be a part of a union. You don't know what it means any of these struggles. You're just a fucking cosplayer, kid.
Yeah, there was this dude back in my hometown that I used to hang out with that told me he was a redneck, and I didn't think much of it because I was like, all right, yeah, that's cool, whatever. And a couple years later, this dude got the Chevy symbol tattooed on his arm and the Confederate flag inside of it. And I still think it's one of the stupidest tattoos I've ever seen in my life.
A product of blind capitalism that doesn't understand that you're not only associating yourself with a brand, but you're associating yourself with a losing team with the wrong flag.
Yeah, it's like great.
Yeah, it's some stupid shit right there.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I love politics. I love talking politics because... So, I've been much more vocal about politics lately, more than ever. And I like confronting people on their own stupidity.
Yeah, especially after these last couple years, because even people that have not voiced any like serious opinion on politics in the past are coming out with new thoughts and ideologies because of how politically different things have become. And I love it. I love to see people that I've known for years that never voiced their opinions going out and joining protests and flying signs and doing what they can to help support people that are oppressed and support minorities and people that need help, even people that have changed so much that they're going out and like working at food kitchens and starting sections of Food Not Bombs and things like that. It is wonderful to see.
Well, and that's the importance. We have a lot of taboos in America, and one of them is you don't really try to talk about politics because it's separating, right? But you should separate yourself from those people because if they got shitty opinions, it's what you should do. It's the same thing of like, you go and you work anywhere, you should talk about you should talk about salaries, because one of the biggest ways that people take advantage of people in the public workforce is they're like, oh, don't tell the workers your salary because you don't want to disappoint them. When in reality, you're probably getting paid less than everybody, and they could just be like, yo, dude, you're getting paid 20 grand less than me for the same amount of fucking work, you know. And that's why people should unionize. That's why people should fucking have solidarity, and that's why people should do things like talk about politics, talk about salaries, and overall fucking work together as a unit to bring back better change. So that way we could actually do things like bring back the middle class, because we don't have a middle class, man. We haven't had a middle class since Reaganomics truly fucking hit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we have people who are left over from the middle class that scrape by, but you know, we live in a society now where you're either fucking poor, you're fucking working, or you're fucking rich. But yeah, sorry. Very passionate subject of mine.
So, for the people that are listening to this right now, at the time of this recording, we are currently at an hour and a half, and I'll edit down a bunch of this to make it within like half an hour or 45 minutes, like all previous episodes. But we are getting to the point that we got to cut out here. So, thank you so much for being a part of this, Brandon. This has been wonderful. I'm so glad I was able to just sit here and talk with you for this long. And what we've been doing with other episodes is we've been having bands submit a song for us to play at the end here. And since you're on as Punk with a Camera, maybe if you want to end on kind of more of a message to the listeners or something like that, that would be amazing.
Cool.
So,
Well, I look forward to hearing about it, and I just hope you had a good time, and hope everyone else listening has had a good time. And if I could leave on anything, go get fucking vaccinated. Learn empathy. Know that a cop worked out today, so you should, even if it's just walking. I know some folks have muscle atrophy and stuff like that, but even do what you can within your own limitations, and just in this dark time, in this dark world, try your best to look at something positive, whether it's a future plan, something that you're proud of, and just keep on fucking swimming, man. You know, we are in a dark time, and if we dwell in our darkness will become more of a reality than it is a fallacy. So just know that. Y'all have a great one.
Yeah, have a great one. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Local Listens. And next week's guest is Mikey Muffins of Are They Brothers and her solo project, Mikey Muffins. We hope you tune in next time and have a great and music-filled week.